Hey, YouTubers, fellow RVers, if we have. So hopefully my connection is good. We're coming up to the Great Conjunction, and I feel very strongly for those of us who feel called, those of us who are just even interested in this information. There's a reason that we're interested. And I think that it's important for us to find our footing in the path forward in where we want to be and where we want to go. Because I believe that's part of the power in this great conjunction. And I believe that people who are not actively moving forward could get stuck in a little bit of a hamster wheel of discomfort, of things they don't want. And I want to encourage as many people as possible to find their way toward what they want, which will just in and of itself pull us out of the hamster wheel of society. I think things are going to get a little bit more intense in some ways over the next few years. People, looking for work, people with jobs to offer, maybe a little bit abusive, of employees. It's a time for us to find our own footing. Now, I don't want to take that path. I don't want to take that reality. I want to leave that for somebody else. That's not the place I want to go. I want to encourage people to take their own path, to take their own steps forward in where they want to be, doing things that bring joy and happiness on a moment to moment basis. Because through our moments is how we create our future moment. And through appreciating and feeling the goodness that we have is how we create happiness in our future. So, especially now with the great conjunction on us, that is my purpose here. Let's do a some cards for the collective. See if um, see if I can draw some people and happily pull cards as I notice. Chat. Just cut these and talk to the cards for just a second with that beautiful Ace of Wands on the bottom. That's from a past life. Okay. Hmm. So this is the third time I've seen the star today. The third time I've seen the star of hope today. Look at that great conjunction right there. Hopefully, that's what it's going to look like on the 21st. Actually, I think the great conjunction is in the morning. So I think what we'll see is the night of the 20th as close together as we can see Saturn and Jupiter. But this is our time to reach into our hearts and to set our wishes alight. The star is our hopes and dreams. So definitely, this is all about what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and pull a full for the collective, please, for all of us, for every one of us. What are we blocked by? Our challenges, spirit, in the past. Base. Okay, I got two cards there. Immediate future. Time for action. And ourselves. Ourselves, the hermit, going within. setting our dreams alight, putting it out to the universe, the environment, choice, the lovers, hopes and dreams. And the big card, the Six of Wands, success after battle. That's what we want to see on the end. So we're starting by using this time, remembering to be intentional, knowing that this is our time to envision, to stop and allow even 2 minutes in your own mind of what feels good. Breathe into that. Let the feelings happen. And then the experiences can start to come to us. Now, the fact about the law of attraction is pray to God, row to shore. We still have to do the work. We still have to take the steps. So the first card down, the situation is the Two of Wands. We have been, many of us, sitting around for a long time, looking out at this odd, new, lonely world, trying to figure out what our path forward is. And what has challenged us, the King of Wands, not traditionally, is all the structure, all the government. Right now, we're challenged by, um, well, the King of Wands is generally not the Hierophant or the Emperor. In this situation, we're challenged by what's happening out around us in our universe, in our direct world. Some of us can't go out. Some of us are really conserving money. We're all challenged by the structure of the power of what is happening in the government and in the world around us, kind of keeping us dreaming and holding us back, where we're looking at the past and we're seeing, our freedoms, and where we seem to be carefree. But although at this time I'm looking at the stars, at the Big Dipper, I think that is, and saying that we were a little bit Pollyanna-ish. We were going ahead by rote. We were happy. Everything is as it was, but we weren't really seeing the reality of what is being exposed about life, that there is really more to life than the structure of being born, going to school, getting a job, taking 2 vacations, retiring, and then croaking on to the next life. There's more for us than this. And whatever our part is in helping humanity, we help humanity through helping ourselves. So as we're looking at the past and at the love that we've shared with our friends and our families, and we can gaze again up into the constellations and know that this is a time that we are going to step into more, as the World card is up in our above us, in our spirituality, and all that is in our higher thoughts. So the World card, as this is a time of our birthing, of our stepping into our spiritual connection, of knowing who we are in a way that brings joy to ourselves. And through that, we bring joy around us, and we heal the earth through bringing ourselves joy. That's, I believe, I've come to feel that that's what we're here for. We are here to learn our lessons, to heal ourselves, and in the healing of ourselves, we heal others. The action beneath us, 2 cards pulled out, and the Two of Pentacles, I was looking because we also had the Two of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. The Two of Pentacles is a card of balance. And the oddest thing in this particular deck that I'm drawn to in this Two of Pentacles is it looks like her bottom half of her body is turned from the top half. So it's kind of an odd balance of being who we are and stepping into everything that we are. I always see the Two of Pentacles as the balance of earth and spirit, of knowing that we are spiritual beings and we need to take care of our spiritual connections and nurture that. And we also are responsible to be stewards of our life here on earth with this balance. It's both because we chose to be on earth to experience the feelings, the emotions, all the deliciousness of being on this planet. And we here, we judge emotions and we judge experiences. But on the other side, all emotion is good and all experience is good. But some things, it seems that we could be holding ourselves back with some attachment to something that we want to leave behind that is not serving us. That in order for us to gain this balance, there is something that we need to walk away from in order to care for our physical world. The Eight of Cups are about our emotions. So something that is emotionally draining, that needs to be, that's no longer serving us and could be just let go. So this is a time in order to gain balance, to look and see what is bringing us emotions that we don't want um, to hold on to. Hello, Elizabeth. It is so good to see you. This is the Light Seers Tarot. It is not a new deck. It actually came out last year, but I've had it for a year. It is beautiful. Thank you. So every one of us has a different balance. Every one of us is in a different place in life. And certainly this year, I like to say that we are all in the same storm, but we are not all in the same boat. Every one of us is in a different boat. And I was talking to an old neighbor of mine and I said that, and she caught on. She said, "Oh, yeah, I guess I'm in a yacht, aren't I?" I said, well noticed. For whatever it is that we need to look at for balance and the things that we need to leave behind, different for each one of us. And because it's beneath us, we know what those things are. Let me not knock my little angels over. We know what those things are that are no longer serving us, but we generally don't want to walk away from them. But in front of us is the Chariot, and the Chariot says it is up to us to take the reins. That if we don't take charge of those things that aren't bringing us balance, that the Chariot can get away from us. Those wild horses can go whichever way they want. It's up to us to control the direction of our life through our thoughts, through our emotions. We're all going to have experiences. We're all going to have good times and bad times in life. We're going to lose people. We're going to lose jobs. We're going to have money struggles. Everybody's going to have something. But it's up to us to control our emotions, our reactions, how long we allow ourselves to dwell in something without going within and looking for, okay, what is it what is it about my life that I want to learn from this experience? So, whatever it is that we need to let go of in order to get control, this is asking us to go within and just visualize and just envision. I want to do a video with just a 5-minute meditation of us just going in, envisioning and feeling how good it feels to go into our hearts and to allow 5 minutes of glowing our dreams out into the universe in order for the universe to have something to bring us back. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. In our environment is the lover's card, and the lover's card is our choices, are the choices that we make. So, I mean, this is our time. The Great Conjunction is coming to really think about where we are following the path of society instead of the path of our own heart. Because this is the time as we shift into the age of Aquarius, this will be our time to follow our own paths, to follow each of our unique gifts, and to share our gifts with others in a way that encourages them to also use their gifts and express their gifts. The Nine of Cups in our hopes and dreams is a card of, and there's a potential offer of love. In this time, there's so much of us are missing the closeness of others, especially those that are younger. I think about how difficult it must be to be a 20-year-old in this time on the planet. But in our hopes and dreams, in our hopes and fears, we want to use our emotions and our emotional guidance system to allow us to know what is good for us and what is not in our highest interest. And we want to follow our inner guidance. That's Abraham. Esther Hicks used to be Esther and Jerry. Jerry's gone a number of years now. Um, Esther says our emotions are our guidance system, and that's how we know when something is right for us, when it feels good, and not right when it doesn't. So get to know your emotional guidance system, because this is a time for us to win. This is success. I see the air of Aquarius. This is almost like the double lines of the sign of Aquarius as we step into the age of Aquarius um, in on December 21st. And I realize Pluto doesn't come in for I think a couple of years yet, but we are actively moving into the age of thought and the age of air, the age of creating through our um, through our imaging and through our emotions. So certainly this is our time. Jupiter is all about expansion. This is our time to know that what we focus on is going to expand. And it is so important that we expand the things that we want and we create the life that we want for ourselves in this age of Aquarius. It is such powerful energy, Elizabeth. I'm sure you can feel it like I can. It is just amazing to watch Saturn and Jupiter and Mars in the sky. And last night when I looked out, the moon was right below Saturn and Jupiter. It's phenomenal. It is our time to use our creative energy. Absolutely. So I'd be happy to pull cards, or let's see how I can. Thank you for being here. I appreciate having company so much as I figure out the live stream on YouTube. I I see that I really have to avoid what is happening because it is intensifying out there as we knew it would. And it's a time where I am just affirming to be grateful for living in a society of people who care about each other. Because it's just a little bit scary out there if you're paying attention. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. I want to know what editing software you use. I need to brave up and get editing software. So, let's see. The Page of Cups. The Page of Cups in this, thank you. The Page of, oh, you have a Mac. The Page of Cups in this deck is so unusual. And the Page of Cups, um, to me, because of the image in this deck, I think of this as past life, future life, reincarnation, that we are developing our soul. We are doing our soul's work. Totally unusual for the for the Page of Cups, but it's it's hard for me not to envision that that's the soul pulling out and getting ready to move on to its next life. So the Page of Cups in this deck for me is a card of karma, of knowing that we are on our soul's path, doing our soul's work. I don't know if anybody has read the book from the 80s, The Education of Oversoul 7 by Jane Roberts, written based on the Seth material, where Cypress, the Oversoul, do you know Oversoul 7? I love it. Um, Cypress has multiple entities on Earth at the same time in different time frames. And it gives quite an idea of what life might actually be like in reality. And this card for me represents that. This is saying that we are in a spiritual cycle. We are working for the interest of our soul. And maybe that is why I feel called to try and encourage others to come into their own purpose, for sure. Um, the energies are so intense. Let's see what else I have on top here. The Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles, I pull this card almost every time I pull cards. It is definitely the card of charity, the card of give and take, a card of balance. And like I said about us all being in the same storm, but not all in the same boat, look at how all the pentacles are different sizes. So we are all drops in the ocean, and yet we're all unique in our own ways. Oh, thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you. I so appreciate that. And the image, it's so different in this deck to show, that we're all different and yet we're all the same. And the Hierophant. And what I love in this deck, the Hierophant is the government, the spiritual leader. I love the joy that he has in this deck, the joy for knowing who he is, and the joy for knowing his connection with his higher self, with his own Cypress, his oversoul. It's a great card in this deck, the Hierophant, much more so than in any other deck. Let's see. Somebody had asked me to do cards, they thought, but I don't have their question. Yes, it is. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. Why don't I? What is it, George? Grab a little deck. So I always like to look and see what's on the bottom of the deck right when I open up the bottom of the deck. I learned that from Z Queen Tarot. She is fabulous, political tarot and astrology. The bottom of the deck, the Wheel of Fortune. Things change. What goes around comes around. Endings and beginnings. Nothing stays the same. We are in a period of growth. And if we think about where you were 3 years ago, so many people think about the situation they're in and don't think about, oh, fabulous, I would be love to. Let me put George outside just in case. Hey, George, let me get George outside. Oh, if he goes up front, I'm okay. There was something I was just going to say. If we think about where we were some years ago, 5 years ago, and think, I actually am someplace that I wanted to be 5 years ago. 5 years ago, 2015, I was working 4 jobs. I had a full-time job, a part-time job, and 2 independent bookkeeping jobs. I wasn't happy. I had a mortgage. That was so when I think about where was I 5 years ago, I wanted to be where I am today. And I created where I am today. So if we look back in our lives to a point and say, okay, where was I 3 years ago, 5 years ago? And what did I want at that time? And where am I now? And then we can recognize how we can create through our thoughts, emotions, focus, intention. I pulled that light seers back for you, Elizabeth. How we can create our futures. But as I've said before, it's like watching hair grow. So, we think we create and we think about it, and then we're like, nothing happened. And so we just forget about it and move on. It takes a couple years. It takes time. Did you have a hello, Julie? Did you have a particular question, Elizabeth? Let's see. Let me just stop and get my energy. Thank you. Starts with the Hermit. Ooh, you're going to love that card. All right. So, Elizabeth, we're starting with the Hermit card, which says that in your heart, you might know which direction that you want to go in your career. The Hermit is our inner knowing, much like the Collections by Ink. I'm so glad you're here. Much like our let me start over. The Hermit card, it's our intentions in our heart. So much like the High Priestess is what I was going to say, our intuition is here in the card of the Hermit. And there's something that you are working on already. This is the card of death and rebirth. And this card shows that you already have the knowing within you. It is glowing out from you already and asking you to step forward into this. I'm looking for. I have the Four of Pentacles, so I'm looking for what you're stepping into because this is a time in this deck. The Four of Pentacles looks much like the Hermit. I see her as a card of intuition and of meditation. So, in this card of change, it is stepping into a new identity. It is putting on a new cloak and stepping away from the standard, stepping outside of the norm. You know, when I saw that red cloak on with the beautiful glowing light coming out from the knowingness, it's a matter of you allowing yourself to step into that new identity. But the Four of Pentacles is a card of being conservative. So it may mean that you have to step slowly into this new career, that you need to prepare your foundations with the four. You need to possibly put a little money away or budget yourself so that you know exactly what your needs are going to be as you're stepping into something new. I don't see walking away, but death is endings and new beginnings. So I would say there is a little bit of planning, of setting the foundations right now in order to step into what you already know. It's just a matter of putting that identity on and stepping into it. Let's see, on the bottom of the deck, the Lovers, the card of choice. And underneath the Six of Swords says there may be something that needs to be left behind in order for you to step into that new direction. The Lovers is the card of choice and partnership. So it's definitely, a spiritual partnership, a spiritual knowing. Um, as you break away and step into this new identity, the identity of your spirit, stepping out a little bit from the identity of the earth into our knowing. So that is what I have for you. And Ink, I'm so glad to see you. Thank you, Elizabeth, for being here with me. I appreciate that so much. And you had left a message, Ink, and there was a particular question. Thank you so much. Let's see. All right, we'll pull. I I cut my cards and a lot of times, and then I got an old deck. It's a Gypsy Witch deck, and I read the instructions, and it said um, from the 1800s, cut the deck 7 times. And I thought, oh my God, now I know why I cut the deck so many times. It's in my history. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. If I can read the chat, I need magnifying glasses. Post Tower. I'm very familiar with Post Tower. Okay. Let's see. I'll show you what fell, but I'm putting him back. In this card, the devil. Get a good look at him because he's cool. Back you go. Beck and Bull. Edwina Beck and Bull. Does anybody know that movie? Edwina Beck and Bull. All of Me with Steve Martin and Lily Tomlin. Okay, let's see. Thank you. Well, the Three of Wands, is generally a card of taking action. And she's going out with her surfboard. She knows exactly where she's going on the bottom of the deck. She knows that what action she needs to take. It's just a matter of waiting for the wave to catch. So it looks like you kind of have an idea of your direction, that post tower direction. Let's see what we have. Yeah. Oh, so fascinating. So I got two pages, the page of Pentacles and the page of Wands. Pages are offers or messages, stepping out into something new. Those cards look like new freedom to me. That says, along with the Five of Pentacles, says the Five of Pentacles is often a card of family issues. But the Five of Pentacles says don't allow yourself to be left out in the cold. To these new two pages, the page of Wands and the page of Pentacles, says it's time to step out into what you love, into your own celebration. Because without that, you could be trying to conform to someone else, and we don't want to conform to somebody else's image of us. We need to step out into our own image. The Ace of Cups says to definitely follow your heart, to follow. This could be new love. This could be a new offer of love. This could be a new passion, this new direction. This can be falling in love with ourselves and our own life all over again, and recognizing the value that we have here. So the Ace of the Ace of Cups definitely says allow that heart chakra to open up and to be open to new love. And it can be renewing love, but I see a lot of freedom in, where's my head? I see a lot of freedom in these cards. So I see a soul that wants to express itself, and either in relationship or not, as long as you are able to express who you are in that Queen of Wands, as long as you are able to fully be all that you want to be, that's what you're looking for. And she is creating in her hand. She's got that flame in her hand, and she is creating exactly what she wants. She's focused on her future. She knows where she is going. So the two pages and the Queen, the Ace of Cups, really is asking you to step into your heart, to step into who you are, to put yourself first. And through that, the love will be there. Fabulous. Excellent. Authentic. I am. If nothing else, I am authentic. In the funniest of ways. I do think I might have to let George out in a minute. George was my mother's dog, and he has no patience. When he's got to go, he goes. But he's all right. I'm watching him. Thank you so much. So anybody else? Anybody else? I do see that the chat is very tiny. I see why people use two computers, and so that they can see the chat when when, when they're reading. And now I see why people do that. Oh, thank you, Julie. Thank you. So, Julie, did you want cards? I'm just kind of hanging out here. So I don't know if you are can see Saturn and Jupiter in the sky where you are, but they're about that far apart. They are getting so close, and I've been so excited to see like almost an explosion in the sky, and we're getting close, and I realize, it's going to be another night. Let's see, snow. Let's see. So, all right, snow. Snow. I'm assuming that's not a wolf that I know. All right. The conjunction is amazing. Okay. Snow, on the 5, on the bottom of the deck, I have the 5 of swords. Swords are always our thoughts. In this card, the 5 of swords is a little bit pained, but the 5 of swords is about doing what it takes. It's the card of winning at all costs. It's a card that says you might have to work a little extra. You might have to take some extra steps to get the job you want. I see that the crow is talking in his ear. So it's asking you to listen to your intuition and to follow your intuition when you get it, and not to feel discouraged when something, that's a big one. Okay. So if something gets turned down, something doesn't work out, you thought that's what you were going to do, don't be discouraged. Know that something else is still coming in the background for you. The 6 of Pentacles is the card of charity, the card of give and take. So the 6 of Pentacles, I don't know what kind of work you do. Sometimes it helps to volunteer someplace in order to get a working job somewhere. I have done that in the past in animal shelters, in animal hospitals, in nonprofits, where I went in with my accounting as a volunteer with animal work, a little different, and eventually got a job that was my intention. So in this card of charity, it could be doing taking some unusual steps. It's 444. I love that. Thank you. Some unusual steps in order to get the job that you are looking for. Temperance says be patient. Temperance is also the card of alchemy. So temperance says it's important to visualize, to let's see, he's holding the 2 balls in his hands and the energy is going between them. It's important that we create, that we know what we want, that we hold the energy, and that we focus so that we can alchemize into reality what it is that we are wanting to achieve in this job. Success after battle. So if you keep yourself keep yourself motivated. Don't feel let down when something doesn't go right. You might not get the first job that you were looking for. You will have success if you are just persistent. So that is what I had for coming up with a job. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you for being here. Oh, good. Wolf. Wolf, this is only my second live stream ever. So let's see. Julie. I don't usually do yes and no questions, Julie. So how are the possibilities of Julie going to Black Mountain? The King of Swords says, yeah, if you want to go, you can go. The King of Swords is an expert. The King of Swords says, you can get where you want to go. You just have to do the work to get there. Strength. So, it's going to take a little work for you if you want to go to Black Mountain. It's not, in the next 2 years. It may be a little bit after 2 years, because in the strength, I see the two sides of her face, the half lion, half person. And of course, she's got the lamb here. And so I think it's going to happen. I just don't think it might happen in the 2 years that you're asking. That. Let's see. Yeah. It's really hard to see the comments. They're like tiny. Hi, Jennifer. Nice to see you. You're so welcome. Thank you. All right. Any others? I have one. Let's grab the Sun and Moon Tarot. Jennifer, you absolutely can shift into healing work. So, because because you're asking the question. So, really, it's going to be just so important that you envision it and that you focus on it and that you take steps. Let's see, Jennifer Todd. On the bottom, Jennifer, the High Priestess. It's in your intuition. It's already there. So it's a matter of you following your guides, following your inhibition, to follow your intuition, ignore your inhibitions, and step through this portal and just step into it. The moon. So the moon is your wishes, and it shows that some things in the light of the moon are not quite as they seem. Everything doesn't seem clear to you, but there's always the balance of the black and the white of in our reality here on this planet. So it's a matter of just knowing that it's up to us to step through. It's another portal, because there was a portal on the High Priestess, portal on the moon between the two towers, and step into this reality. It's a matter of putting on a new identity and just owning it. Ha! So, in what I like to do, that I learned from Z Queen Tarot, is to leave the title card in the deck. And my title card in the deck is our connection to our higher self. This is my card for you, Jennifer, to say that you're connected to your higher self in stepping into your healing work, and that this is the work of your purpose. And your higher self is saying, absolutely step forward into your healing work. It is difficult in Tennessee. I have a friend who's been, in Tennessee and some also areas that aren't considered enlightened. You can start online. You can find new ways. It's a time to be innovative. It's a little bit, a time for us to really step out of the norm and find a footing that's different. Uh, let's see. Oh, down the roller coaster. Thanks, Jennifer. Down the roller coaster. It is going to be one scary drive. Shoo, man. am, I am waiting for this roller coaster. Let's see. I'm start with the bottom of the deck for the collective as we fly down this roller coaster December 21st, as we crest the top and begin down this incredibly fast hill into 2021. In the temperance card, interestingly enough, they call it art. And temperance is the card of alchemy. It is the card of us creating the life that we want to live. And I find it fascinating in this deck that it is the card of art because it is for us to find our new way. It's not to be an accountant with 4 jobs. It is for us to find our paths of satisfaction as we move forward into this new situation. The bottom. So, the situation for the collective as we head down this roller coaster, the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is the card of luxury. It's the card of us recognizing all the good that we have developed, all the growth that we have had during this year in all the difficulty. Those aren't roses, but roses have thorns. Those look kind of like sunflowers. They don't have thorns, but you get the idea. Um, all the growth that we have been through, it's time for us to take stock around us and to recognize and value the things that we have grown over this year. And this is challenged by the Seven of Pentacles, which in this deck is failure. The Seven of Pentacles is the card of evaluation. And why they in this deck, why I see it as failure, is because some of us are caught up in the vicious cycle. And so, in order for us to appreciate that growth that we've had, that we've experienced in this difficult time, we need to step out of the vicious cycle that we are in this society right now. The Four of Pentacles behind us. During this year, we have all been um, closed together. So many of us, we've all been shut down. The fours are about foundations. Um, people, fours are about structures. Everybody has had most of the year to kind of sit around and ponder. And during this time in this deck, the Four of Pentacles is power. So it's time for us to see again the growth that we have had this year and step into the power from the foundations that we have created. Around us is strife, is the Five of Wands. This is a time of change and disruption is difficult. It comes with a lot of dissension. And so there is a lot of strife around, and it's not for us to ignore it. It's for us to do what we can to help where we can and mm, to know that to carry that burden is not ours. The only burdens that we want to carry are the burdens that we choose, and it's up to us to choose to put those down, that oppression, to know that the burdens that we carry are our choice to be in that fight. We don't have to choose to carry that burden. We can choose to see the growth and to step forward into our new healing practices, into our new jobs by envisioning a new way. We want to step out of the norms. We want to make sure that we don't get caught in that vicious cycle. We want to use this time we've had while we've been building sandcastles, and we want to see how we can take this structure that we've created for ourselves and manifest it into the lives that we want to choose, that we want to have. So that is for the collective. Let's see. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Jennifer. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. It. Thank you. Thanks. Oh, you're so, so kind. Thank you, Ink. I wish I could just give you a big elbow rub. Nobody can hug anymore. That's all we can do now is, fortunately, I have to take the dogs out before George comes out again and says, I gotta go. I thank you so much for spending the time with me, for the kind words, for the encouragement as I try and navigate my way through this, my way to make a difference on the planet and to try and find people that I can encourage, the people who need to hear the message that I have to give. That's why I'm doing it. So that's my dream and that's my hope. Oh, good. I'm glad you felt the hug. Thanks. Thanks to each one of you. Take care. Here I go. It never ends. The live stream never ends when I hit that button. It's so funny.